Evangelist Messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And also I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Aly Harrold. But before that, I would like to say thank you so much for watching the show live or at a later date, as it means a lot to me to connect with like-minded women. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Rae, and I love to help women to crossroads in their life, heal their past, create their future, and transform their present so they can take charge of their destiny in the here and now. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I use angelic Reiki, future life progression, past life regression, guided meditation, angel oracle cards, and hypnosis to help women who feel lost get clear on their reason for being here. And I've also created a transformational journey to help you take charge of your destiny and a journey through lifetimes. Now, each episode of the show will cover various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Aly Harrold, about the fact that there has never been a better time to find your voice, to speak up and speak out. Now, Aly Harrold is an award-winning speaker and a professional speaking coach, specialising in helping entrepreneurial women find their voice to deliver their message and their personal stories. Aly has a background in as a professional singer and performer, and it is from this knowledge that she coaches people in the art of using their voice effectively, helping her clients speak with depth, volume, and clarity. She has coached several TEDx speakers and currently offers online coaching for women who need and desire to speak and present with confidence and clarity. Amongst her many businesses and speaking awards, Aly received the Kent Women in Business Award this year, 2020, for Women's Champion. And Aly says that this more than anything is how she sees her work, to enable women to find their personal power, grow their business, working from their authenticity and truth of who they truly are, with testimonials including, I recently attended Aly's Speak with Confidence, Release with Fear, Find Your Voice workshop. I found the day truly inspiring with some great tips on calming nerves and warm-up exercises. It has definitely given me more confidence, and I would highly recommend Aly. Thank you. And also, Aly is very confident, friendly, and brings the best out in people. She understands fears and helps destroy those fears for your true potential to shine, and helps you be free yourself from your self fears. She's an amazing woman. So, without further delay, hello, Aly, and welcome to the Angels of Destiny show. How are you today?
I'm good. Well, we had a dodgy start, Rae, didn't we?
We did, which occasionally happens,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like I now feel I need to be speaking properly as I speak to you, enunciate all my words.
It's really interesting because we people watching won't realise, but we had a problem with the technology, and it's so interesting because I always say to my clients, that we think this road ahead for speaking in our mind, it's going to be this amazing thing where everything's going to go according to plan, and this is exactly what happens. Something happens, and imagine if you're anxious and nervous, how you'd be now because everything hasn't worked exactly as you thought it was going to work. And so this is it. You need that to be calm when we speak, so that we're not thrown by these things.
Exactly. Yes, and experience has taught me, don't panic, because you'll always find a solution around it.
Yeah.
So, before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Aly and I want to be part of this conversation. So please do not be shy. So Aly, why don't you tell us more about yourself, your background, how you got into this, and how by speaking up and speaking out is so important now?
Let's start with that, really, Rae, because it really is at this time, globally, what's going on is that people, now is the time. If you've got a message, if you've got something that's going to help people, if you've got a message you really want to get out there, you want to be able to really share that with clarity and confidence, and to be able to be fluid in what you're saying. So that's my aim, is to take that person who's rabbit in the headlights, terrified, and just wouldn't even entertain the idea of getting in front of a camera, and in front of an audience, and be able to feel that they can do that and feel empowered enough to know that they can do it really well. And all of these problems that people have come down to one thing, that's the anxiety and the nerves. And there's so many techniques that I can help you with, and we can free you of these, all these things that you hold yourself back with. So it's a lovely job. I absolutely love it, and I am astounded when I watch someone who came to me and really was terrified, and then I see them standing up there and just delivering a talk, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, wow, that's that same person. It's just incredible. I love it. So but I came to it kind of, I always say this, we reach a point in our life where everything that's gone before suddenly makes sense. So for me, I spent a long, long time, many, many years as a professional singer. So standing in front of big audiences, huge audiences, was not an issue for me. And being able to sing, it's a beautiful thing to sing. But later in my life, I reached a stage in my life where my confidence was really badly knocked. My self-esteem was eroded. My confidence was knocked. It was coming through a broken marriage, relationship, business. There was lots of threads, lots of things going on there. And I reached a stage where I couldn't even stand up in front of a group of people without having a panic attack, and my heart would be pounding really loud, so loud I would think that the audience could hear it. My mind would be racing, and I'd be thinking, what do I want to say? My throat would dry up. And this was really completely different to everything I'd ever done before, in that, like, where was the girl gone who could stand up in front of any audience, never be stuck for words? And that was the question I asked myself. I said, what happened here? Why? How did this happen? And so I had to go back to the drawing board, really, like a lot of the people I work with do, to discover what that was and work with it. And one of the things I did to build my confidence up was I joined a speakers club. And if I tell you that I went along to this speakers club, the aim was, I just thought, oh, this might be good for me. It might help me build my confidence. I'd set up a raw chocolate company because I'd come out of a publishing company and I wanted to get back into business. I set up this raw chocolate company.
I love raw chocolate.
It's really healthy, really lovely. And I was out there networking, and I would meet women who couldn't explain what they did. Their volume would be really low. They would speak really way too quickly. They wouldn't look people in the eye. And I thought, that's really interesting. I wonder why they've got this brilliant business, but they can't speak. So anyway, I took myself off to this speakers club, and I started. The first time that I stood up, I lasted like 30 seconds before I had to sit down again, before everything, again, my brain came to a standstill, broke into a sweat, and I thought, I just need to sit down. But I persevered, and as I went through, they give you assignments to do which build your skills. And I started to enter the competitions that they had, speaking competitions, and I started to win them. But I was really puzzled as to how I was doing it. I was like, how am I managing to pull this off? Because there are people who've been doing this a lot longer than me, who are a lot more proficient at this, and yet I didn't know what I was doing. And it was only when I stopped to think, wow, do you know what? You know how to use your voice. You know how to project your voice. You know how to connect with individuals in an audience. You know about the importance of practicing what you do, and preparation, and warming up your voice, and the different tones in your voice. And I thought, that must be what it is that I'm bringing to the table that other people aren't. So that was a kind of light bulb moment for me. And that, combined with looking at these women who were struggling to speak, I'm like, okay, maybe I've got something that can help them here. I had another light bulb moment because I competed nationally for Speaker of the Year. It was in Scotland, in a hotel. I think it was either Aberdeen or Glasgow. I went up there to compete. And remember, so this is a national competition. there are 8 finalists coming from different regions of the country, and they were all men apart from me.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, wow, okay, so where are the women? And that again made me think, women have a problem with this. Women really struggle to stand up and feel good when they do it. And so again, that voice in my head said, you've got a bit of the puzzle for them. You've got the skills that you can help them to develop. And the kind of, I call them, secrets of speaking, but they're not really secret. They're just techniques and skills to give them. And that's where really the thought was born. But the interesting thing was that because I put money into this business, this raw chocolate business, I kept telling myself, no, this is what I'm doing. I've got my raw chocolate workshops. I was selling raw chocolate. I thought, no, I need to stay on this track. And it took me quite a while to realise that actually I was barking up the wrong tree, and that I didn't need to justify the fact I'd invested this money in website, in equipment, in everything that I'd done for that business. I just needed to realise that actually my skills lay in another area. And I found a business coach who helped me to build my speaking business. And I never looked back. I love it because that, as I said to you, taking that woman who's terrified and helping her to craft her story, deliver her talk in an engaging way. It's so rewarding. It's just lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's brilliant. And on our watch party, Lorraine Biggs is watching, and she says, "Hello, ladies." And unfortunately, I can't show the comments on the screen because it's on the watch party.
Yeah.
We've also got Carla who's watching, who says hello. So that's lovely as well. So that's kind of like how you got into it. So how what sort of things do you do to help women find their voices?
Well,
Um,
the first thing is helping them to understand about this beautiful instrument that we've all got, that we come into the world, most people, you cry out as a baby and you've suddenly got this voice. But unless you explore that voice through singing, through doing that kind of thing, you don't understand that this amazing instrument is capable of so many different sounds and qualities, and that you can bring light and shade to your voice in different ways. And so I give them lots of exercises to do to warm the voice up. So before we speak, we should be doing these exercises. It's those muscles in our throat here around this area, there's so many of them, and there's so many nerve endings, that it's like any instrument, you want to warm it up so that when you go to speak, it's clear, it's got volume, it's got depth, it's got clarity, it's got resonance. A lot of people, when they speak from just up here in the throat, because they're tense, they'll be holding their body really stiffly. And if you think your voice needs to come right from in the lungs, that's what the air coming up through your windpipe, squeezed by the larynx, is what makes sound. So the breathing is hugely important. So it's things like teaching breathing techniques, which has the added benefit of helping them to calm right down. Voice exercises so they get in their body, because most people, the minute you say you're going to go out there to speak, they energetically leave. They're gone. And this is why a lot of people will say to me things like, I don't even remember what I said. Well, you don't remember what you said because you weren't actually there. You weren't present with it. You ran away, come back when it was safe to do so. Because speaking makes us. There's a lot of reasons why we feel like this. One, because we're putting ourselves out there, so we're raising our head above the parapet, which goes against everything that we've been taught. We've been taught not to take risk, not to make ourselves vulnerable. In a tribal situation, we would have been encouraged not to stand out, because when you stand out, you put the whole tribe in danger. So we learn to hide away, to stay safe. And what we're doing when we're speaking is we're going, actually, it's okay for you to stand out there and to shine brightly. And in addition to that, you've got lots of other things going on. You know, they'll have these voices in their head that say things like, well, who would want to listen to me? You know, who am I to stand up there? There's so many of these voices that aren't even ours that are there. You know, when we're kids, we're told just be quiet, be seen, be not heard. And now we're going, especially now with video and Facebook Lives and everything, we're saying, no, we want you to be seen and be heard. It's like, oh, I grew up thinking I didn't do that. So it's an interesting paradox, that, and it's one we have to work through. So the answer to your question is, Rae, breathing, being very conscious of the breath, lots of physical exercises to get them to stretch their spine and open the chest up, you know, just exercises when we're breathing so that we really open the ribs up, which where the lungs are, so we can get even more air in. Loosen all this up so that this is lovely and relaxed, it's not tense. Of course, you know, if this isn't free, your voice isn't free. And then also other exercises that link into the chakras, because this throat chakra in women especially is often blocked. And that will go back to the fact that we have very often not been allowed to express our feelings, not being allowed to speak up. We might have grown up in a family where you kept the peace. You can inherit this from your mom, who didn't stand up to, you know, maybe her partner was much more domineering and she didn't stand up to him. And so this closing of this chakra is really common. So we do there's certain toning sounds for each of the chakras which open them up and bring the energy into them. So it's a very holistic thing that we do when we speak, because the voice, as you will know with the work you do, carries a vibration and a frequency. And especially in a lot of people who come to work with me will be therapists, and a lot of them are using their voice as a healing tool. So if they were a hypnotherapist, they'll be using a certain tone and quality when they're with a client. But you want to use a totally different tone and quality when you stand up to address a network meeting, or you are giving a talk somewhere, whatever it might be. And the thing is, at the moment, the opportunity to stand up in front of a live audience isn't there. But the opportunity to do this, what we're doing tonight, is here. And I think this part is even carries a few different issues for us, in that the camera squashes you, it squashes you energetically. So you want to come across as bigger, vibrationally bigger than you are, so that by the time that technology squashed you, you still have your presence, you still have your, you know, the ability to get across that to connect with people. So it's an interesting, lots of different.
It is. And I've got a question for you in a minute. But at the moment, Michelle Duncan says hello.
Hi, Michelle.
Yes. And Mivilin says hello, everyone. I hope I pronounced your name right. Apologies if I haven't. And Lorraine Biggs on the watch party says, you've really helped me with my speaking skills, Aly. So you've got a fan there. But we've also got a question from Andrea Crosse. And she says, hi, lovely ladies. As a student osteopath, I suffer with extremely bad practical exam nerves. My brain goes blank. I can't string a sentence together. I go bright red, sometimes cry and just cannot function. Could the tools you use for business coaching be used to give me confidence when doing practical exams and being asked questions by the examiners?
Definitely. So there's lots of tools. I use EFT tapping to help people free them of where that energetic connection is that's plugging them into the thing that's happening for Andrea is everything's short-circuiting. So when we do EFT, we're tapping the various meridians, and we don't need to know where that short circuit is occurring, but we can remove that short circuit so that she'd be able to retrieve that information. What Andrea would benefit from greatly would be doing the breathing technique, so the yoga nidra, balancing left sides hemispheres of the brain before she does the exam, that the effects of that would last for a long time after she does it. So that's going to help her. Definitely tapping would help. Getting into her body, so humming, just closing your eyes and humming into the body would really help as well. Because what's happening to Andrea is exactly what I said. Energetically, she's leaving. And that's when the nerves get a chance to take hold, because nobody's running the show then. You've gone. So yes, Andrea, it would definitely help you. Definitely. And then you need to be able to speak about what you do as well. Once you've passed your exams, you want to be able to stand up and address people and explain how. I mean, how amazing to do some videos about the way that osteopathy works and what it can help with, and you need to be able to do that, and as part of your promotion. So it's all interlinks, all of this stuff. I always say to people with speaking, if you can speak, you maybe blog about what you do, but you could use that blog to give a talk. But when we speak, at least 10% of the people in the room want what we've got to offer, at least 10%. So if the 30 people listening, you've got at least 3 customers there, and they connect with you straight away because you're the speaker. Whereas if you network in a traditional way, you're hoping to connect with people one-to-one. So it takes the effort out of that. So speaking is just such a powerful marketing tool. I always say there's 3 things to do for your business: speaking, blogging, and networking, whatever that might be, virtually or physical person. So really important.
Yep, and Andrea says that's brilliant. Thank you, Ali.
You're welcome.
That's really good. And if anyone else has got any questions that are you want to ask about public speaking, video speaking, or just projecting your voice, then please do ask the questions. You've got the ideal opportunity here to actually get some answers from Ali. So because obviously there's people that are looking at with their work, their therapies that they do, or business meetings, giving presentations, business meetings. If people were looking at, they want to do go do a TEDx. You've trained people for TEDx. How do people go about that? Do they have, is it one of those you have to go through a hierarchy to get there, or is it straightforward?
That's actually, TEDx is quite easy actually, because usually the event, so there's usually one in Folkestone, there's one in Tunbridge Wells, near to where, geographically that's where we are, but they're all over the country. Go to the TEDx website and just search it for there won't be live events at the moment. Search for the events, and they give you, there's a theme. They announce what the theme will be, and then they invite you to submit your synopsis of what it is you want to talk about within that theme, and then they'll ask you to send them a little video. But the thing, before we get that far, because I get people who say, I so want to give a TED talk, but here's the question: is what is the objective of that talk? What do you want it to achieve? And that's always the question with any talk we give. What is the objective of giving this talk? Are you looking to attract clients? Are you looking to build awareness of a certain subject? Are you looking to educate, entertain? You might be getting funding for something. Whatever it is, think about what the objective is, because the objective will define how we build that talk. And then we build the talk from in certain sections. There's usually roughly 3 sections: a beginning, a middle, and an end, and each section builds on the next one. And it takes a lot of work, but the truth is, if you put the work in and you put the practice in, by the time you get to deliver it, you've got so much more confidence. Because a lot of people, when they stand up, will say, I get so nervous. And you ask them, what preparation have you done? I just thought, I'll just speak. Well, no wonder you're nervous, because you haven't done the preparation. You do the preparation and the practice, the planning, the preparation, the practice, and you will deliver something really good. You know, you have that framework and good and effective very, very well. But if you don't do that work, you will fall down. And that's the thing, I think, is that's why it's with timing as well. You know, you have to be aware of things like timing. If you are given 15 minutes to speak, they want 15 minutes. They don't want 20 and they don't want 10. That 15 minutes, make that 15 minutes work for you. And it takes a discipline to do that. So you have to start. Most speakers speak between 130 and 150 words a minute. So
Wow.
you need to do the sums. So if you've got 15 minutes, do 15 times 100. And I base it around 130, because by the time you've slowed down and you've allowed the pauses and you've allowed for the energy to build in your talk, or even some rapport with the audience, it will be a lot slower than 150. But when you do that sum, you realise, wow, so that's so many thousand words. And you look at what you've written and you've probably got way too many words. So that's when you get really ruthless and you go, okay, so this is where my work comes in. I look at it and I go, that particular part there is not achieving anything. It's just very wordy. You've repeated yourself. There's a better way for us to do that. So it's being economical with words, but in a creative way,
Hmm.
really, and finding phrases and words that are not the usual things that people are using. So you don't make it complicated and not that people can understand, but you want to get creative with your language. You want to get very visceral with your language so that people start to feel the emotion of what you're saying. And of course, with something like a TED talk or a 15-minute talk, you've got a certain process to go through. You want to build in some storytelling there because of what storytelling does to the brain, because it has a special effect on the brain that's really crucial, that you mustn't miss out when you speak.
Yeah, well, that's really quite interesting. And Michelle says, agree with you. Preparing for a presentation, I didn't like practicing, but it does help. I won a prize once for a talk I gave. I think my voice is too quiet though. I need to find a way to speak up louder.
Okay, so that would come, Michelle, with doing vocal exercises that I would give you to build volume in your voice. You will also get more volume if you do the physical exercises before you speak. It's amazing. You know, some of these physical exercises I give people, we measure where the voice is, do the exercise, and then speak, and suddenly the volume is because it's not about forcing the voice out with the volume, it's about building it from the inside so that it's projected outwards, the volume. So it's a mechanical thing, and it comes with practicing. And it's the voice, this equipment is, think of a load of elastic bands. You're stretching them, and the more you stretch them, the more you can get out of them. But you've got to keep that going. It's not just something you do. You don't speak for 6 months in front of an audience and then you stand up and speak. I mean, how many people do you hear go to speak and the first thing they do is clear their throat?
Yeah,
Good evening, ladies. And you think, well, that shouldn't be happening. Your voice should be clear and strong the minute you open your mouth, and it will be if you do these things. But they're things that, it's really important. Hydration as well, water, really important.
yeah. I'm always saying to people, drink water, drink
Mm.
water. Yeah, just drink water. Lots of
It
water.
won't stop the dry mouth, though. That's the thing.
No,
There's a different there's a reason for that, because when we get a lot of people say to me, my mouth gets so dry. There's just nothing there, and that's because the adrenaline, when we're anxious, and this is why we have to master that anxiety. When we're anxious, the adrenaline, the body is sending signals to say that we need the heart, the lungs, the major organs to operate optimally at the best they can, because we're in danger and we're going to need to run. So forget producing saliva. We're withdrawing the energy from that kind of mechanism, if you will. So this is why the saliva dries up, but you can trick it you can trick your mouth into producing saliva. It's really simple. So what you do is you imagine that you haven't brushed your teeth, and you take your tongue around your teeth 3 times in one direction, and then you go the other way. Now, what have you got there, Ray? Can you?
Well, I'm not going to.
Saliva.
Yeah.
See, it produces, and there's other ways you can bite on your tongue before singing. You know, when you're anxious waiting for those curtains to open or whatever it was on stage, biting down on the back of your tongue will produce saliva as well.
But obviously not too hard, because
No, it's just a gentle. It just to release those glands.
yeah.
The saliva just, and that then, because no amount of drinking water is going to cure that. No amount. So it's these little tricks that you need to do to get that saliva working. And so it's things like this. But you know that the nugget, as I said to you at the beginning, is that anxiety, that fear, all those things we're telling ourselves. And how many people set themselves up to fail? Their conversation with themselves will be, I bet I'm going to forget. I bet I will forget everything I want to. What if I forget? And there's things that you can do to help yourself so you don't forget, you know, but you've got to know what they are. You don't just hope that you're not going to forget. So yeah, it's a process and lots of skills there, but it's not insurmountable for anyone, not at all.
Yeah, yeah, because I find if I'm giving talks at workshops or anything, I need to have notes or bullet points with me to keep me on track, because I will just start going off on tangents.
Yeah,
So
discipline.
I need saying to go, okay, oh no, I'm supposed to be back at that. Okay, so I'm at this one now.
Yeah. I think the thing is with a workshop, it's a different thing slightly, because in a workshop, the attention isn't always on you 100% of the time. You're encouraging them to do things. It's much more interactive. When we speak, we are the centre of attention, and we want to hold that attention, and we want to have enough content in there, and we need enough variation in our voice and the way we use our voice and the way we've built the story to be able to keep that attention on us and keep them engaged. So this is why changing the tone of voice you're using at certain points, when we're moving to a different area of the talk, we may move to a different part of the stage, or we may take our voice up in a slightly different direction, because it alerts people to, oh, we're moving on here to a different part. So there's these different techniques that you can use for that. But that's the difference between, you know, presenting a workshop and presenting a talk, is that the one thing, and that people have said that to me, you know, I give workshops all the time, I'm fine, but when I had to do this I was so nervous. Well, that's because all eyes are on you, and that's a different feeling altogether. But when you start breaking it down into, forget about yourself, forget about, oh, I'm feeling nervous, I'm anxious, what if I forget? Think to yourself, what have I got that these people need to know? What would they like to learn from me today? What nuggets have I got that are going to help them? And that then takes that anxiety off you totally, because you're in a giving. You're just giving to them, and you're giving of your knowledge, and you're sharing, and that takes the pressure off you if you just stop internalizing what's going on and start to externalize how I'm going to help you, how I'm going to share my knowledge with you.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant advice. I think everyone here can actually take. So, have you got a quick exercise that you could show us?
One exercise that, and it's really useful one to do, is there are tongue twisters. And what tongue twisters do you remember as a kid, we, you know, she sells
Oh
seashells on the
yes, oh the
seashore, that kind of
seashore,
thing.
yeah.
Well, tongue twisters do two things. They get you to use your mouth, and as a speaker, we want to be lovely and clear, and we want to really enunciate every vowel, and we want to hear the end of the word. And I'm not talking about speaking with plums in your mouth and changing how you speak. talking about bringing energy to words, individual words. So when we do tongue twisters, it does two things. It helps us to start working all these muscles and getting the articulation really going. And it also activates a part of our brain that stops us from tripping up on words. So, you know, for instance, you might be giving a talk. Let's take Andrea, for instance, doing the osteopathy. There could be certain words when she would be speaking that might trip her up as she goes to say them. And if you do these tongue twisters, it activates the part of the brain that helps you get better articulation, get the connection there between what you're saying, delivering it, and up here the thought of that word, how it's constructed, how you deliver it. So tongue twisters are things like, I don't use the seashells one actually, but things like, for instance, which wrist watches are Swiss wrist watches?
Which
Which wrist watches
wristwatches are
are Swiss
Swiss?
wrist
What?
watches? Now, the reason it's really good for you is, can you see, Ray, how which
Yeah.
wrist watches, we're
Which
back in
wrist?
again, are Swiss
Yeah.
wrist watches. Now, what you have to do is you have to really overdo it. Which wrist watches are Swiss wrist watches? Can you see how hard my
Yeah.
mouth is working? Straight away, I do that 4 or 5 times over and over, and you can just write them down and just keep repeating. That's going to help me straight away to get more articulation and more better pronunciation in what I'm delivering. It's going to energize the vowels in each word. So in the words, the sound of every word, the word has a meaning, but you can give it so much more energy if you energize the vowels. So let's take the word energize. That word has energize. It's got 3 vowels in it, energize. So when you say the word energize, if I said to you, well, we're going to energize our voice. We're going to really energize our voice now. Which is the better version of that word?
Second one.
We're going to energize our voice. We're going to really energize our voice now. So you can bring energy to each of those vowels. If I said to you, we're going to create for you, Ray, the most beautiful meditation to deliver to your audience. Or I say to you, we're going to create for you the most beautiful meditation that you can deliver to your clients. Which one do you believe more?
The first one.
We're going to create for you the most beautiful meditation. And you can take as long as you want over these vowels. This is where the singing part for me came in, because you're going to be singing with your spoken voice. You're going to be using the word beautiful, and you're going to take it. Imagine you're taking your listeners on a soundscape of a journey. So you can paint this picture with your voice. And this is why certain people we listen to, we go, wow, I could have listened to that voice all night. I could have just, we've got the opportunity to caress people's ears. Take it. Take that opportunity to really bring to life every single word that you deliver. And it hits home so much more powerfully than if we get lazy when we speak. So tongue twisters. So which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? The other thing you can do, I said so Michelle was asking about, she was asking about
About preparing.
volume, wasn't she? She said, I need more volume in my voice. So you can take a tongue twister and you can use that as a volume exercise as well. So you've got 2 things going on here. So you could start really low. Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? Which wristwatches? So come up and up and up and up and up in volume until you've got which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches, and really bring energy to each of those sounds. So you start to hear, oh wow, what it sounds like in the bones of my head when I bring that volume up. Much more animation in your voice. So you could use all of these tongue twisters to really energize your voice even more so in volume and in, as I say, being able to deliver the words in a much more powerful way. So it's a double whammy there, really.
It
Really
is.
useful.
And Misha has also asked, would you suggest visualize yourself giving a great talk as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would say two things. I would be affirming to myself, I am an amazing communicator. I am a brilliant speaker. It's interesting, the ego voice often steps in and goes, really? Are you sure? You weren't so good the other night, were you, when you forgot what you wanted to? And it's trying to keep you safe. So you got to park that and go, no, I'm a brilliant communicator. I'm an amazing speaker. Say these things to yourself, but also visualize standing there, giving this talk, people being engaged with you, they're making eye contact with you, they're nodding their head as you're speaking, like, wow, yeah, I understand that bit. You imagine them giving you applause at the end because they loved it so much. What we create in our mind's eye, we can step into. And that's a much more powerful thing than the one of, I hope I get this right. I hope I
Yeah.
remember. Hope is a word with an O in the middle, with a hole in the middle. You don't want a hole for something to fall through. You want to be able to really step into your power. The more you believe that you can do this, and we can build that belief by affirming, visualizing, all of that.
Yeah, I like the word know rather than belief. I know. I always
Absolutely.
like know because to me that's like no. I
I
know.
know I can do this.
Mm,
Absolutely. You're right. That's true. So,
yeah,
good question, though, but very important. I think the other thing for people, it's more with live situations, but if you could go to the venue where you're going to speak, because go to it before you're going to speak, stand in the position where you would speak. If you say you're going to give a talk in a room, and get to the room before the event starts, and go and stand where you will be, because you can look out and imagine, because there's going to be people around here. It takes away that energy we use wondering what something's going to be like. So I wonder where I'll be. I wonder where they'll ask me to, where will I have to walk from to get there. Takes all of that away, and then we can have more energy available to speak at the time. So that's easier in a live situation.
yeah, yeah, which makes sense. And Michelle says, very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome, Michelle. We can always improve, even if we're out there speaking. I meet people all the time who say to me, "Oh, I do a lot of speaking," but actually, what they do is they talk. They don't speak. So talking, you and I can sit down and have a talk with a cup of coffee, but to speak, to have that energy, to have that magnetism, to attract and keep your audience, is a different skill. And it means turning the volume up on your presence. It means turning the volume up on the way you deliver with your voice. It's all of those things, and there's a big difference, really. So, but we can always improve lots of things just with doing some of these exercises. I know people. I coached a woman a little while ago who said to me, "I'm amazed, Ali. I go to these events," and she said, "I'm there doing my warm ups and things." And she said, "I see these speakers who just get up out of their chair, come up, and they've done no preparation at all." And she said, "I'm thinking, wow, how much better could you be if you did this stuff?" So you can't underestimate how valuable it is in expanding your energy before you get up there.
Yeah, that's it. This is absolutely brilliant and fascinating, and the questions that have been asked so far have been absolutely brilliant. So if you've still got any more questions, please do ask them. So
Yeah.
Ali, as you know, I do guided meditations and angel card readings, and each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guided meditation, or whether they would like me to pull an angel card or oracle card for them and the people watching. So what would you like me to do?
I think I would like a meditation.
Wow, nobody, it's very rarely people say that. They normally go for the angel card.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think then what we'll do is we'll do a brief mini guide meditation for the throat chakra.
Lovely.
Seeing as that's what we've been talking about. So, if you want to close your eyes, and as you do so, I want you to take a deep breath in And on the out breath, just release any stress or anxiety. Just let it leave your body. Take another deep breath in, giving yourself total permission to relax. And on the out breath, just releasing everything that doesn't need to be around you. And as you fall into your natural breath, just see, feel, imagine or know a beautiful golden light around you. A beautiful golden light of peace and relaxation. And just allow that light to move down into your aura, your physical body, your emotional, mental side, feeling every single cell and membrane of your body. And as you do, think about relaxing your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, all the way down your arms to your fingertips. For as you think about relaxing, so you will relax. So just feel, see or know your whole head relaxing, your brow, your ears, your temples, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your cheeks, your jaw, feeling so relaxed. And you might even just want to move your jaw slightly, just allow that relaxation in. As that relaxation moves down into your neck, into your throat, moving all the way down into your shoulders, and your shoulders feeling so relaxed and heavy, just like warm sunshine massaging them. As this relaxation moves down into your upper arms, your elbows, your lower arms, your wrists, your hands and your fingers, moving all the way into your body, and you feel your chest muscles relax, your stomach muscles relax, the whole of your back relax. As this relaxation moves down into your hips and your buttocks, moving all the way down into your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your heels, your ankles, your feet and your toes. And how wonderful it feels just to be so relaxed in the here and now. And as you're relaxed, just allow your attention to move up your chakras from your base root chakra to your sacral chakra, to your solar plexus chakra, to your heart chakra, to your throat chakra, to your third eye chakra, to your crown chakra. And just allow relaxation to fill all of these chakras. Feel them relaxing. And as you do, bring your attention down to your throat chakra. And as you put your attention on your throat chakra, just notice, what colour is it? What does your throat chakra taste like? What does your throat chakra smell like? Is your throat chakra spinning or still or pulsating? Just get a sense of all these things without questioning, and just allow whatever comes to you first to come to you. And as you focus on your throat chakra and you notice all these things, just see if there's any changes you can make to them. If your throat chakra is a dull colour, just amp up the brightness. Allow your throat chakra to become brighter and brighter. And if your throat chakra smells not nice, Just change that. Imagine that your throat chakra is smelling like beautiful flowers or perfumes or scents that you absolutely love. And if your throat chakra feels dry or raspy, then just imagine it as beautifully supple and loose, flowing, watery. And if you feel that your throat chakra is just stationary and not moving, just imagine it rotating or pulsating. For as you imagine things, so they begin to happen. As you think of things, so they work. And just allow your throat chakra to be vibrant, beautiful smelling, pulsating or rotating, beautifully moist and relaxed. And if you want, you can move that into all your other chakras and just see what they see, sound, feel, smell like. And you can always change them to make them more vibrant, more colourful, more beautifully scented. For imagination goes a long way. As you think of something, so it happens. And now I want you to take another deep breath in. And on the out breath, just let out an ah. And take another deep breath in. And on the out breath, just release. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and bring yourself back into the present. And if you have any water, please do drink it.
Mm.
So, how did you find that?
Really good, actually. I at the end I had like a blue daisy, a
Oh,
lovely blue
wow.
daisy. I had lots of iridescent sort of blue going on.
That's
I'm just going to put this computer on, Ray, because my battery is saying it's low, and because I didn't expect to be using my phone.
no, we didn't expect you to be using using your phone.
I've
Um,
got the lead. I'll be back.
okay, no worries. Whilst Ali's gone to get her lead, please do let me know how you found the meditation. Um, and let's see. Michelle says, an image of the sea came to mind when filling my throat chakra.
Wow.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So was it a calm sea or a stormy sea or a beautiful flowing sea? Did you make changes to it? It's always fascinating to hear how people when we do guided meditations, how they actually see and change things.
Mm.
I mean, did you find you had to change yours, or was your throat chakra quite open and clear and
Yeah, it was to begin with. It was all those iridescent blues, which were really beautiful. And when you talked about the smell, it was like a beautiful violet blue, the violet flower, smell. And but like by the end, it had turned into this big blue daisy, which was
wow,
lovely.
cool. And Michelle says it was calm with a few small waves.
Oh, gorgeous.
It's absolutely wonderful. So yeah, that's brilliant. So Ali, do you have any insights or thoughts to leave our viewers?
I think that we're in a time, Ray, where people are looking for help. They're looking for maybe they're looking for people to help them lead them forward. And there's, now's the opportunity. If you've got skills, if you've got ways you can help people, is to start speaking up. So maybe doing some Facebook lives with some techniques that you might be someone who does. You might be an EFT practitioner, and maybe now's the time to start doing some little videos on how that might work. You might be a meditation teacher, and you could deliver a 10-minute meditation once a week that's going to help people to feel calmer and more in control about what's going on. So now is a really important time for people to be speaking up and speaking their truth as well, about what's actually going on, and pointing some things out, that where things are not as they should be, and that there's definitely things that are going on that need to be brought to people's attention. So now is the time. And I think with speaking, often we're afraid of upsetting people or alienating people or losing people, and we have to know that this is not everybody's going to agree with what you've got to say, but we don't want everybody to agree with what we've got to say. There's certain people you're going to attract, but those are the people who you can actually help. So just push yourself out of your comfort zone and start doing that. Start, using your voice. You were given it for a reason. Use it.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant words of wisdom. And Kelly Jane on the watch party says, beautiful meditation, Rae, thank you, and great discussion. And it has been a really great discussion. And Carla says, it's always a beautiful meditation. The colour was a sparkling silver light. It started very grey and sad, no flower. But that was it started, so it obviously went to a silver sparkle.
Wearing blue as well would help. Wearing a blue scarf energizes the throat chakra. Getting a blue crystal, some lapis or something, and when you meditate, dedicate that crystal to energizing that throat chakra. And every time you sit down to meditate or you want to do those voice exercises, humming, hold the crystal and dedicate that to energizing that chakra.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carla, I feel so much better. Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Carla, for joining in and let us know how the guided meditation. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this and found it insightful. And the words of wisdom and the tips Aly has given you will help you further on your journey. So, Aly, if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
Okay, so they can go to my website, which is alyharrold.co.uk. I've got an online program there that's for storytelling, for building your story, delivering your story, which will help them to both plan, prepare, and start practicing that and the structure. Excuse me. So that will help them with that. So that's on there. Or if they want to have a call with me to explore how I might be able to help them with a particular aspect of speaking, because for people it's not everything. It might be a particular aspect, like with Michelle, for instance, the volume stuff and the building the resonance in her voice is a particular issue. We can work on that alone. It doesn't have to be a whole thing on speaking. So there's lots of different ways that I can help people with their speaking. So just have a look at my website or on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page for my business as well, so Aly Harrold Coaching. And just connect with me and reach out and we'll see how I might be able to help.
Yep, and what I do is I'll put a post on at the end with all the links to Aly, which means you'll just be able to click on them and go straight to those pages. And Lorraine says, so much great info. Thanks, Aly.
Oh, you're welcome, Lorraine. Lorraine does great work as well with helping people get past what the blocks that hold them back.
She does. Yes, she's been on my show.
Especially women in business who have these these things that will trip them up when they go into business, that if we don't address those, and they're usually things that are rooted a long time ago, that will stop us. So she does brilliant work with that.
Exactly. And Lorraine also says, lovely meditation. Thanks, Rae. You're welcome, Lorraine. To be quite truthful, I love doing guided meditation. So, I'm a storyteller by heart. I'm actress as well, or I was. So yeah, so storytelling. I love telling stories. So guided meditations, it's like, yeah, let me do more of them. So if everyone, you've enjoyed this, then please feel free to share this video, as I'm sure there are more women who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny, just like you. And if you have reached that crossroads in your life and you need help finding your destiny and taking charge of your future and getting clear on your path, then I would love to be that guide for you. So please feel free to reach out and connect with me, and we can arrange a free 20 to 30-minute video call to find out more about each other and how I can help you on your journey. And of course, the Angel Wings membership community is open, where you get a chance to grow with Ascended Masters, Archangels, Oracle cards, and whoever else wants to come in, to spread your wings and soar. And of course, if you want to sign up to my newsletter, then there are some free gifts there. Before we go, Lorraine says, thanks, Aly. And that's yeah, recommendation. Do check Lorraine out as well. And if you didn't catch my show with Lorraine, then do check that one out. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified of any future videos. And I look forward to seeing you all again, same time, same place next week. Thank you so much, Aly. It's been
You're welcome.
brilliant.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak, Rae, and look forward to helping any of these ladies who feel that it's time.
Yeah,
Voice.
it's brilliant, and some great wisdom and tips there. So thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining in. And I will see you, hopefully, all of next. Well, not hopefully. I will see you next week. Okay, everyone, take care. Bye.
Bye bye.